You wake up to an alarm. You check your phone before your feet touch the floor. You're at your desk by 9, and somewhere around hour 6, you catch yourself wondering where the day went. 8 hours of work, maybe more. And still, somehow, never enough time. But here's the strange part. For almost the entire history of our species, that wasn't how a day worked at all. Your ancestors weren't grinding through 8-hour shifts. Some of them were working 2, maybe 3. And they weren't falling behind, they were thriving. So what did ancient humans actually do all day? The answer might make you rethink everything you believe about work, rest, and what a human life is supposed to feel like. Start with the assumption most people carry without questioning it. Life before modern civilization was brutal, a constant grinding struggle to survive, hunting from dawn until dusk, gathering until your hands bled. No rest, no leisure, no room for anything except the desperate business of staying alive. That image is almost entirely wrong. In 1966, anthropologist Marshall Salins presented a paper that would quietly upend that assumption. He looked at data from hunter-gatherer societies and coined a phrase that still unsettles people today. He called them the original affluent society. Not affluent in the sense of owning things. Affluent in the sense of having enough and having the time to enjoy it. Salins wasn't romanticizing hardship. He was pointing at something measurable. Hunter-gatherer groups he studied often worked far fewer hours than people in industrialized societies and still met their needs. Food was found, shelter was built, children were raised, and there was time left over, a lot of it. That idea sounds almost impossible from where you're sitting right now. So let's look at the people still living something close to that life today. In northern Tanzania, there's a community called the Hadza. They are one of the last populations on Earth who still get the majority of their food through hunting and gathering, largely untouched by agriculture or industrial food systems. Anthropologists have spent decades studying them, not as a curiosity, but because they offer something almost nowhere else on Earth still offers. A living window into how humans lived for the vast majority of our existence as a species. Anthropologist Frank Marlowe spent years living among the Hadza, tracking their daily routines with a level of detail most people never think to apply to their own lives. What he found lines up strikingly with Salins' old idea. On average, adult Hadza spend somewhere around 2 to 3 hours a day on activities directly related to getting food. Hunting, digging tubers, collecting honey, gathering berries, 2 to 3 hours. Think about your own day. Your commute alone might eat more time than that. The rest of the day isn't spent recovering from exhaustion either. It's spent on rest, socializing, storytelling, childcare, tool-making, and simply existing without a task attached to every hour. Researchers who've spent time with the Hadza describe long stretches of the afternoon dedicated to nothing more urgent than sitting together, talking, resting in the shade. Here's where it gets stranger. Herman Ponzer, a biological anthropologist who has spent years studying Hadza energy expenditure, found something that quietly challenges another modern assumption. You might expect a hunter-gatherer lifestyle to burn drastically more total daily energy than a modern desk-bound life. But Ponzer's research found that total daily energy expenditure among the Hadza looks remarkably similar to sedentary populations in industrialized countries, which raises an odd question. If they're not burning wildly more energy, and they're not spending more hours working, what exactly is different? The answer isn't in how much they do, it's in what they don't have to do. No commute, no inbox, no 8-hour block carved out for a job disconnected from anything they need to survive, followed by errands, followed by chores, followed by whatever's left of the evening after all of that is done. A Hadza day isn't segmented into work time and lifetime the way yours is. Getting food, socializing, resting, and caring for children aren't separate categories competing for the same limited hours. They flow into each other. That's the part modern life quietly erased. Not effort, structure. Somewhere around 10,000 years ago, that structure started to change, and it changed almost everything about how humans spend their time. Agriculture arrived, and with it came something hunter-gatherer life rarely demanded. Relentless, scheduled, repetitive labor tied to the rhythm of crops, rather than the rhythm of the body. Fields don't wait. Harvests don't pause for rest. Early farming societies required far more consistent hours of labor than hunting and gathering ever had. And that labor came with a new problem hunter got.